In this video, I will be explaining the tremendous opportunity that I have to sell my breast milk, along with how it came about, what I am doing to increase my milk supply, how I ship my milk, and some tips and tricks I learned along the way. There's actually not much information about how to sell your milk and get started on YouTube, so I hope this will be a great resource for you. I will start by giving you my background, as that will help to inform how I actually made this connection with the woman who is purchasing my breast milk from me. So at the time of this recording this video, I am a mother of two with two under 2 years old. And before I was a stay-at-home mom, I actually worked as a nanny full-time in Southern California. Now, the unique thing about working in Southern California as a nanny is that there are many opportunities for nannies to make over 6 figures and have a really good salary. And I was actually put into a couple of really cool circles through a nanny agency that I worked with. So I actually worked in SoCal as a nanny full-time for anywhere from 40 to 80 hours a week, helping a family with their 2 kids. And it was actually a really cool job because I was able to travel with the family. They had a lot of interesting connections in their community, and it was a small town, but very well connected. And I really enjoyed it. And it was actually a really healthy community. And so there were a few people who actually were part of this network that sold breast milk to some families. And that's when I first learned that this is actually a real and viable way to make money. And so I kind of tucked that away into the back of my mind for a few years until I actually had my second son. And when I had my second son in May, I was actually messaged and approached by one of the colleagues that I used to work with, who was also a lactation consultant. And she reached out telling me she has this client who is looking for someone to purchase their breast milk because she had a low supply and her child would really benefit from it. And I actually really had to think about it because I had 2 kids under 2 years old, and this was all new, and my husband was working full-time. So I thought about it, and I actually messaged her back saying, I will do it, but I have to set the price because it has to make sense for me and my schedule and my routine as I'm adjusting to become a mother of 2. And it's a lot on your body to breastfeed, actually, and you're postpartum and you don't have much help, and you just want to make sure you have enough for your baby. So that's what I did, and I actually was able to see, as you can see, I'm able to reduce about 100 ounces on average extra per week. And so I set my price, and this will lead me into price setting. I actually decided to sell my breast milk for $5 an ounce because that's what made sense for me. And I did end up talking to the woman, and we were able to come to this conclusion that it would make sense for me and her to agree to this price, because she actually is also paying for shipping because she is from the community that I used to nanny in, but she actually is living out of state. So thankfully she has a business that allows her to have a FedEx account. So that is probably one of the biggest tips I would suggest for somebody that was going into this, is to have them either set up a pre-existing FedEx account or set one up, because that has made it huge. And it's actually really helpful because there's no money exchanged on your end. You just give them their account number to the FedEx people when you take the milk to the FedEx store, and then they get billed directly. They don't have to end up paying you, and you pay for it and they pay you back. So that's one of the biggest tips I would say, is work with Uline and FedEx. And Uline is actually where we get these coolers. They are shipped to me, and they are these insulated coolers that are in a box, as you can see in the video. And that's what I actually package up the milk in. And I actually overnight it because she wants it there the next day by noon. And so one of the biggest tips I actually suggest is, if you can overnight it, you definitely should. And the milk actually stays cold, and I try to make sure I drop off the milk at the last possible FedEx pickup time for my area, which is 3:30. So I'm able to pack it up and ship it out around 3 o'clock, and she gets it by noon the next day, and it actually stays cold. I don't put in any extra ice packs beyond what Uline sends me with the kit. So I think it included about 10 to 12 ice packs, which I'm able to freeze in my freezer, and then I put in my stored milk, which is about 100 ounces, into these boxes. Although this is kind of a double shipment, because when I was recording this, we took a week off from shipping because she already had some from another person. So this is a double shipment that I am working with. But I definitely recommend allowing them to have the FedEx account, and then working with Uline, and then they can pay directly for the Uline boxes. You just give the buyer your address, so the Uline boxes get shipped to you directly, and then you can send them off through FedEx. And I really feel like, back to the pricing, the $5 per ounce is worth it for me. I have looked online. People charge anywhere from $1 to $5+. But for me, with her wanting it when I was only 2 weeks postpartum, taking care of a under 2-year-old and a newborn baby, that's just what felt right for me. And I wanted to be fair for her, but I also wanted to make sure I wasn't burning myself out, because it is a lot on your body. And that's where I want to transition into talking about how I'm able to maintain a good milk supply, because this is really important for your health as a mother. And so I really recommend high protein meals at this point postpartum. I do a lot of Greek yogurts in the morning, or eggs with fruit, and chia seeds with oatmeal. Or I also recommend a lot of beef jerky and snacking throughout the day. Some of the best snacks that I found are nuts. I really am enjoying pistachios. And as you can see, there's all of my milk inside of the video, but they're actually these Greek yogurt popsicles that I make, and I'm able to snack on those with the kids throughout the day to maintain my supply. And then typically I like to have my biggest meal during lunchtime, when the sun is the highest in the day, and that actually has been working really well. I'll either have some sort of meat and vegetables, or salad with chicken. I also have been enjoying tri-tip and rice and beans. I'm big on rice and beans as a base, so I always have a complete starch and carbohydrate combination along with protein, and then I add in some legumes and vegetables on the side. And I think I was talking to my colleague who actually got me this job, and she's a lactation consultant, and she also recommends fish because of the high fats. They're good for your brain, and they're good to help you when you're lactating. And additionally, I also wanted to include that I was selling my milk 2 weeks postpartum, so there was a lot of still really golden, beautiful colostrum inside, and I think that really benefited her baby, because she would send me photos and updates thanking me, saying that her baby was cutting teeth. And this child was over a year old that I was sending the milk to, and she was finally cutting teeth. She was gaining weight regularly, and I think that colostrum was really helping her. I just want to remind you that what you are shipping and selling is liquid gold, so you want to make sure that you feel like you're valued and cared for. I will say I really do feel like I am valued by the person who I am selling the milk from, because she would send me updates thanking me and praising me and telling me I'm doing a great job, and I really do appreciate that. And I want to say that the easiest and best way to start shipping your breast milk and selling it is through word of mouth. And the second resource that I have heard about is actually called Utterly. That is an app, and that's where you can get with verifiable people who want to purchase your breast milk. And another and really great way that you can go about selling your breast milk is through Facebook Marketplace groups. Marketplace, you can meet up with sellers and give your price, but I think these groups help you connect with mothers who are seeking exactly what you have, which is that liquid gold. And this is a great way for you to connect with people. I really feel like, this is such a gift for my family. I've made over $1,000 each month. I'm able to provide for my family and still be home with my kids. And I do feel like so valued by the woman who is purchasing from me. And it just is very rewarding job. And you can literally do it anywhere. I go and I visit my grandmother with my kids. So that's their great grandmother. And I'm able to bring my pump. I use the Mom Cozy pump. I have used the LV Strider, although I had some issues with milk going into the cords. So I switched to the Mom Cozy because I do like that it is cord free, and the mechanism for which you can push and turn on and off the milk is on top, and it's all wireless and cord free, so it's super easy for you to just collect the milk, detach it from the motor mechanism, and pour the milk directly into the Medela milk bags. And I highly recommend filling the milk bags to about 11 or 10 ounces. I know they max out number wise around 6 to 8, but you can actually fill them the standard size to, I think, around 10 ounces, and then they freeze well. And I just find it's easier to pack and ship them that way because you're able to max out the bag and you don't have to just have a lot of small ones, and you can ship them easily. So I hope that you consider this, and I wish you the best with your milk journey. What you're participating in is very worthwhile.